Hello to all of you from around the world. I want to welcome you back to another great edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. in America, and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. Listen, my name is Brian Westley Johnson, and whether you're at home or driving or at work, we're always glad you're here with us. We have another amazing show for you today. I'm so happy that I'm joined today by Sheila Applegate, who's the host of Consciously Awesome Living, which broadcasts each Wednesday at 12 noon. Hello, Sheila. How are you?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing good today.
Yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful day.
It is. Today is Zach's birthday, so it's an extra special day at his house.
Oh, my goodness. Happy birthday to you, Zach. Or, you know, if he wants something funky, happy birthday to you, you know. So he can take his pick. He's such a great guy. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Just love that
great
dude.
guy.
Any special plans, or is it a surprise for today for him?
No, I prepped stuff to have brunch after the show. So we're gonna have brunch together here. We were supposed to be with friends, but that got postponed. So we haven't figured out other things yet that we're gonna do. So
Well, I am sure it's going to be a heck of a day for him. And again, happy birthday to my brother from a different mother. Man, yeah. I'll be with you as you're eating today at brunch. Oh man, so wonderful, so wonderful. Listen, we've got a great show today, Sheila. Today is another one of our Wellness Wednesday shows, where we feature stories like health stories of health and wellness from around the world. You know, it's this first story that we're going to be talking about, Sheila. It's about one of the things that I love the most. Outside of course, my wife and my family and all that, which is travel. You know, I love traveling. But it seems as though there's a trend on the rise that combines the pleasure of travel with the benefits of wellness. And this story comes from Pix 11 out of New York City. So let's learn a little bit more about what's happening.
Starting to think about your 2024 travel plans, maybe? Well, one of the industry's biggest trends for next year will be wellness travel. The idea that you're going somewhere to unwind, unplug, relax, and recharge.
Yep, Travel Zoo senior editor Gabe Sagley is in an area known as Greater Palm Springs with some tips and a few destinations, catering to travelers' well-being. Good morning, Gabe.
Good morning, guys. It's about 45 minutes before the sunrise, but I'm feeling well here in the Southern California desert. Good morning.
Well, let's talk about that, Gabe. Let's talk about wellness as a travel trend. First of all, what are we talking about? And obviously, there's a big demand from consumers in 2024.
Yeah, and listen, I think this is a demand that's exploded post-COVID, and Hazel said it. It's the idea of going somewhere else to recharge, rejuvenate, unplug, reconnect with ourselves, perhaps, and then get back to reality feeling just all that much better for it. It's become a $1.5 trillion industry globally, this wellness travel trend, and it's driven by consumer demand. 94% of Americans saying that when they travel next year, they will incorporate wellness or self-care in their travel. 25% of Americans saying they're seeking mental wellness when they go away. And the #1 experience that we're seeking when we travel, a good night's sleep. So all of this is being, obviously, we're hearing the echoes across the country, and the industry is responding in kind.
Yeah, and let's talk about where you are exactly then. So you're in an area known as Greater Palm Springs, right? And
Yeah, Greater Palm Springs, you know, I'm right outside of downtown Palm Springs proper. Airlines like Alaska and JetBlue will fly you from New York straight to this beautiful little airport here in Palm Springs. And then you've got communities like Palm Springs, like Coachella, like Rancho Mirage, and I'm in Indian Wells, home to some of the best tennis and golf in the country. And I am, in fact, at the first ever Tommy Bahama Hotel. So Tommy Bahama, we know they're great with fashion, but just this month they launched their first ever Tommy Bahama Miramonte Resort and Spa, set on 11 acres. Sort of the beach meets the desert here, so very beachy, very sexy property here, about 215 rooms, and just surrounded by this gorgeous desert landscape. Tommy Bahama looking to launch more resorts over the next couple of years. I'm hearing that maybe Scottsdale and Hawaii are next on their list. But yeah, this is a hotbed for wellness. I mean, Hollywood came out here in the 1930s seeking, you know, those mineral springs and those that vitamin D, and now we're seeing all that wellness being ramped up in a pretty big way.
Listen, I'll tell you, I was out there before they did the big renovation at Indian Wells. Now Indian Wells is ridiculous. It's beautiful. So the SoCal Desert is a wellness option, of course, for a lot of New Yorkers. What other spots are you recommending this year?
All right, so I've got a couple of places for you. After you've visited Greater Palm Springs, other places you can seek out some wellness. Florida Keys, big open space, a lot of outdoor activity, those water sports, a great way to sort of disconnect with the world and just kind of get out there. So I'm looking at the Keys as a great spot for 2024. There's a place called the Parrot Key Hotel and Villas there in Key West, secluded spot. If you want to get away in December, sort of last minute over the next couple of weeks here, rates between $229 and $289. December 21st onward, rates will balloon because demand goes way up as we head toward Christmas week and beyond there in Florida. Another great spot in the Caribbean, but one of my favorite spots out there is the Dominican Republic. There's a place called the Casa de Campo in La Romana. This is a 5-star, 7,000-acre property. So plenty of space to just get lost and get away from everybody else. And they've got a just newly revamped wellness spa on this property here as well. So I'm loving this one. 3 nights, $599 for travel, June through September of next year. And if you want to get further away, who doesn't love Italy? The #1 most sought-after international destination for 2024
Craig's favorite place.
remains Italy. Yeah, this is the Biblos Art Hotel in Verona in the Valpolicella wine region. We know that wine's good for you, so that's healthy right there.
Well, there you go.
But these guys have a state-of-the-art spa, Turkish bath included, and this is just a beautiful, elegant property. 3 nights here, $12.95. You get breakfast and a Michelin-starred dinner as well. So whether it's here in beautiful Greater Palm Springs or across the pond, plenty of wellness options. And I think, again, this is going to be a topic that you're going to be hearing a lot about as we head toward 2024. We're going to feel good when we go away.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Gabe Saglier, always great traveling with you and hearing all the best places to go. So
Enjoy Palm Springs.
See you guys in person soon. All right.
Woo, woo, woo. Oh, man. Which one of those trips sounded good to you, Sheila?
Oh, I love Italy, so that would be I would be fine to go to Italy. What
I was
about you? I'd
thinking
love
that
to hear
too.
what your feelings with all of this.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that back in the day when me and Sasha would go away, we would always, you know, we'd like activities and stuff like that, but we'd always try to put into our trips rest time, like sleeping in late, not, you know, just wandering around, just wandering and, you know, seeing a city or a spot or something like that. And that would be more if we were taking longer trips. Shorter trips, we find that it's just about wellness. We just went to Cabo back in September. And I'd say the majority of the time we were just chilling out, you know, on the beach, you know, sleeping in, you know, having breakfast in bed, you know, all those kinds of things. I just think it's important to do that. I will say we've been to Key West, but we didn't know that. I don't know that one place existed where it's secluded, because most of Key West is you know, it's kind of built up and there's different parts, but like downtown is like really built up. And so
Hmm.
there's a lot of people. So that would be some place easy to get to, especially if it's affordable. I mean, $200 a night for a room in Key West is really affordable, you
Hmm.
know. But yeah, Italy. I mean, that's my wife's favorite place outside of her home of Jamaica Island.
Mm.
But, you know, Italy is just like wonderful, especially Verona. I'm like, swoon, swoon, swoon. But I'm glad that this is happening, right? Where, because I think a
Hmm.
lot of times people when they vacation, they just they jam pack stuff in, right?
Yeah. So I, of course, am really happy. And I do think there is a trend of people focusing more on wellness. We're seeing that.
Mm.
And of course, I'm all about, emotional, mental, spiritual wellness, physical wellness. Um, I had a little bit of, I had discomfort with the clip. Not because it felt like a commercial in a way, like, all
Yeah,
the drop. So, I guess I wanted like, yeah, there's the excitement of
right.
I agree with everything you say, Brian, like, it
Yeah,
is so important to just rest. I found it very sad if that I don't know who was actually surveyed, but if we're looking to go away for a good night's sleep, we need to change our daily life, right? Like, we
yeah,
need to
yeah.
make if we're gonna work on wellness is about all the time, and then
Whew,
also when we go away. And then when we go
good
away,
point.
we get to have the adventure of where we are, right? If we're going to another country to
Yeah.
sleep, we're just wasting gas. So
Yeah, yeah, that's so important, right? Because um I think too that when we do go away and we're exhausted, right? When we get there, then we don't get a chance to like really experience whatever that place is, even if it's just to not work, right? To just
Mhm.
you know, do spa treatments and stuff like that and really pamper ourselves with self-care, right?
Right.
Um, um, that we should be doing some of that consistently, even when we're not on vacation. And
Right.
and like you, I am glad that people are taking more vacations and they're combining wellness and that kind of thing too. But there needs to still be this shift in the paradigm where, especially here in America, right? Because I think in other places around the world, they don't look at work the same way that we do, where it's like
Right.
it's all things work here in
Right.
America, and that work has to come first, and all that kind of stuff, and even to the detriment of our own bodies. And I think that that needs to change, right? I think, and
Yeah.
so I
And if
agree with
we
you. I'm
are
glad you said
gonna
that.
Yeah, and if we are looking for travel for mental, emotional, spiritual health, I'm all for that. We hold retreats, people around the world hold really powerful energy healing spaces where you could actually step into it, transform in that moment and take it home with you versus going to a resort where you're just doing the same thing. Those are my thoughts. Like, let's really do this if we're gonna do this. Brian, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if that's everyone.
So, I sorry about that, guys. A little bit with our audio. So I'm going to repeat what I just said just to make sure that everybody understood. I love the fact that you just said that because if we're going away for wellness, right,
Mhm.
and we're learning a new skill while we're away, we should be taking that skill back with us. May it be,
Right.
a massage. We get a massage while we're away. Oh, well, maybe I should be getting a massage maybe once a month while I'm at home to kind of just give myself some of that self-care, right? Maybe I should be thinking about changing my schedule so I can sleep a little bit more, right?
Right.
And all these different things. So I love the fact that you made that point, because when we go away, we also are learning things about ourselves and things that we can always take with us, no matter where we're going. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Great. I love. All right. Great first segment. Yay, team. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, everybody. We got more wellness stories coming up for a Wellness Wednesday, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Hi there. This is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoy the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life. Hey, we're back with more of Soulivity today. Today is another Wellness Wednesday show where we're featuring stories from health and wellness from around the world. Back with us is Sheila Applegate. Hey, Sheila.
Hello.
Our next great story is from Dartmouth Health. And I love this story because it's all about reading. Reading. When did you start reading to your kids, Sheila?
Probably when they were in the uterus.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. No wonder they're so smart.
I'm a big, we had, as the kids were growing up, we had a library, like a small room in our house that was just the library. And I'm a big on reading to children. In fact, with Zach, his nephew is across the country and he really wanted to stay connected. So I had the idea where he could videotape himself reading stories to his nephew. And then his nephew would watch them so that he would feel connected to him, even though they don't see each other except once or twice a year.
Wow.
So.
Well, then you're gonna love this story. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends reading to your kids starting at birth. So you were ahead of the game. Reading aloud builds memory, curiosity, and knowledge of a wide range of vocabulary. And again, this is from Dartmouth Health and a very special reporter.
Every year, the studies show that reading to kids is the way to go. Start when they're young. Don't get left behind. Open a book and you open their mind. The sounds of words and all their meanings are the building blocks of happy readings. A book can help you concentrate, listen and remember better, which is great. Help kids expand their vocabulary, and they'll beg you to go to the library. Imagination starts early, so take a look at what wonders are waiting inside a book. If you think what we say is only in jest, remember Dr. Seuss, who said it the best. You're never too old, too wacky, too wild to pick up a book and read to a child.
And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Great
Adorable.
reminder from that great reporter from Dartmouth Health. Reading is fundamental. I mean, we talk about it in general around, Sheila, in terms of our intellect, right? We think about this thing in terms of our intellect. Reading is about being intellectual and understanding vocabulary and all this. But there's also reading as a wellness piece as well. It's a wellness tool. Again, as we as I was mentioning, reading in terms of memory and curiosity and this kind of thing, it also helps build our imagination, something that you talk
I'm all about.
which you're all about, right? Which is like a fundamental thing in terms of manifesting the life that we want to create for ourselves. And so that's why we're focused on this for this segment, right? Which is, reading and wellness. What are some of the things that you have noticed around reading, especially with your kids, as, they came into the world and now,
Yeah, so reading and books and going to the library, I think that's all things that people were still doing to some extent when my kids were young.
Right.
And I'm not saying parents aren't still doing that. They are, but I think that, my kids are avid library people now. In fact, they got me to get online and realize that you can do audiobooks online with the libraries and stuff. So all of that is important, but the imagination piece I want to talk about for a second, because
Yeah.
as adults, we don't realize the importance maybe of the link between, like you said, imagination from those storybooks into the ability to meditate, the ability to manifest. When I'm teaching meditation, I tell people, that the way our inner vision is from that same space where when you're reading a book, it comes alive in your mind.
Right.
And with electronics today, which I'm not against electronics, but I think if we're always giving the full visual, like videos and movement, that's ingesting a vision versus
Right.
creating it from within you.
Mm,
So stepping
Right.
back from electronics, going back to the quietness, the calmness of a book that opens up the mind to create is going to help all of us. And
Yeah.
especially as you in those early years when so much of the mind is developing, putting as much time as you can into that space will alter the path for your children as they grow.
I love it. I love it. I could not agree more. I'm remembering as a child, my birth mother she was the one who got us interested in the Tolkien books, right? And other, where that would be our bedtime stories, and it would be so amazing because since she was both an English major, she also was a major in music and drama. She would literally change her voice and through her voice, bring the characters alive, right?
Right.
From Frodo Baggins to Sauron, the evil wizard, and all that kind of stuff. And we as kids would imagine this, right? I would
Right.
remember imagining all this stuff coming alive, and I can still see the characters in my head today. And it just helps so much to expand how you see the world and what's possible in the world. Because again, I look at when you talk about imagination, Sheila, I love it because for me personally, it's about bringing the impossible into the possible, right?
Yeah,
Where there is
absolutely.
no, yeah, there is no like, oh well, you can never do that. It's like, no, that never goes away, right? All that stuff
Right.
goes away, you know.
And I love that your
Um,
mom read to you at night because because what happens then you dream on it, right? So now you're
right.
moving in from that state to dream. And for all those people who are traveling to get a good night's sleep, try reading a book at night. Turn off the electronics. You know, if you read till
Yes,
you're ready to fall asleep, you won't be obsessing over work. You won't be
right,
racing in your mind, and eventually your eyes will get tired and you will fall asleep. So,
right,
and you'll dream
right.
from what you're reading. So, don't read about self-help at that moment necessarily. Read something imaginative.
Exactly. Dream when the day's through. Something like that. Something
Yeah.
like that. Great segment. Great segment. So go out there, everybody. Use these tips and go out and read. And especially at night, allow yourself to be and dwell on those things that bring you joy and happiness and that kind of thing. Especially with some good books. With some good books. Sheila, we're going to just go into our next story here, where the holiday season is here. I'm sure for Thanksgiving, like all of us, even if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, it's a great excuse to eat and to eat well. Um, you know, I don't know, for some people. I mean, my wife can sometimes, she feels guilty after eating and indulging with a certain amount of food and that kind of thing. And so this next story is from NBC Chicago, where they're going to give us some great tips on how we can enjoy the season of eating and all that stuff without completely abandoning healthy habits.
Well, in today's health and wellness report, we're taking a look at the impact of all of the holiday meals. You know, it can be really easy to overindulge this time of year. We all do it.
Too easy.
Right? There's even a name for it, believe it or not. It's called National Eating Season. Health and wellness reporter Lauren Petty has some tips to help you keep focused on a healthy lifestyle.
It starts at Halloween and runs all the way through the Super Bowl. We're talking about National Eating Season.
We have multiple holidays and events that can be really focused around food, and sometimes with the colder weather and whatnot, people can fall off track with their healthy lifestyles.
A nurse practitioner focused on lifestyle medicine at Rush, Elizabeth Simkis, says one tip to stay on track is to get rid of an all-or-nothing mindset.
One day turns into 2 or 3, and then you think, okay, I'll just wait until the new year. But it doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing season.
If there's a favorite food that's part of your cultural celebration, embrace tradition. Don't deny yourself.
I always tell patients there's no forbidden foods, and if there's something that you really enjoy, just make room for it in the day and make sure to eat, a healthy breakfast and lunch. Don't go to the party overly hungry.
Simkis says regular exercise won't just help your waistline.
Any movement is going to be better than no movement, and it's going to be good for your mental health to move your body.
And if emotional or stress eating are problems, take the time to identify your triggers.
Touch in with yourself to see, like, how do I feel? Am I stressed? Okay, how does eating a cookie fix that feeling?
Instead, choose other ways to relieve stress.
Going outside has really been shown to reduce stress. Journaling, meditation, listening to music, calling a friend, like having those tools in your toolbox so that you can try to implement those ahead of time.
And if you do overindulge, give yourself grace and start again.
Just know that you can start at the next meal or you can start at the next day. You don't have to wait till the new year. You don't have to wait till the spring.
Lauren Petty, NBC 5 News.
Those are really good reminders.
Tips.
I like the one about giving yourself grace.
And going outside, even if the weather stinks, it really does help.
It does.
I agree. Better give yourself grace when you're eating that food.
And go outside
What?
even when it's
Exactly. Curious, Sheila. What is that one food during the holiday season? It can be something that you have earlier in the year, but like around the holidays that you just can't say no to.
Hmm.
I
Well,
know, right?
what comes to my mind is a kuchen that I only make, like it
Ooh,
was a family traditional kuchen that we make, and
ooh,
so if
mm,
I make that
mm-mm.
most years, and that would be not too.
That would, if
Um,
you're making that would make me drive 6 hours to come visit you. So all you got to do is let me know if you're making it, and then we'll
if you
be in
drive
the
6
car.
hours, I'll make you a kuchen. That's a deal.
Yes, I haven't. I mean, I can't. Man, I haven't had one of those in like since I was a boy. I mean, in Detroit, of course, we have this lot of diversity there, and so
Uh-huh.
there's a couple of spots that make cougars, and so like fresh, and sold them. So, woo, oh, all right, Sheila. What anything else? I mean, what's another one
Um, that I have to have at the holidays.
at the holidays? Like oh man, it's holiday season, and if somebody makes it, or you're going out
Oh
and
yeah, I
whatever.
know. We have a grasshopper a pie that's a family tradition. So that
Really?
only
Okay,
comes out like
what is
it's
yeah? What's
actually
grasshopper?
mint. So it's a Oreo. It's an Oreo
Oh,
crust
ooh,
with a like it's a
ooh,
frozen pie. So it's got this cream de menthe and cream de cocoa in it and a cream in it.
wow,
Yeah. And I don't make
that's
that. I mean, I did when I was younger, but now, we have one sister who makes that and we make it at the
mhm,
holiday. So that would be the one
wow.
probably.
I'm trying to think of okay, so I'll do the a dinner and then dessert since you did the same. I think for dinner, trying to remember. Well, it's not like a main course, it's a side. But one of the traditions in my family, especially for the holidays, they would make it year round, but especially for the holidays was always nice, was yeast rolls. And these are these
Mm.
soft, like how you have Royal Hawaiian where they have like they're really soft. It's like that, but they're folded and brown on the top, and they're just
Right.
buttery because you use a lot of butter when you're cooking it, and then my grandmother would literally dip the after the dough
Oh.
has risen, she dipped the dough
Uh-huh.
in butter and then fold it and then put it down to be cooked,
Oh,
right?
neat.
And then when
Ooh,
you
that
take it
sounds
out
yummy.
and you put more butter, and it's oh there would be no rolls left. I mean, and she'd make like dozens of them, and then also um and I don't know if we even have the menu anymore. I mean, the recipe anymore. It was called jam cake, and this is a very southern kind of
Mm.
recipe for a cake. It's similar to a spice cake, but a little bit more sweet. It's savory. It's
Interesting.
like sweet, savory kind of.
Uh-huh.
And again, it reminds you of a spice cake. Um, and oof, my goodness, it is so good. I mean, yeah, you can't say no. You can't say no.
Right.
Even I remember my mom who was on more on a strict diet. She'd eat some of those rolls, and she'd have some of that jam cake. It was like, nah, you just find yourself eating. You're like, oh man, well, how did this get in my mouth? You know.
Right.
But yeah. But again, we have all this, and I guess the point of this story is, it's okay. It's one day or a couple of days. Um, just be noticing that if you're eating food because they're triggering and all that kind of stuff, just notice that. But give yourself some
Right.
grace, especially if you're eating to like it's the holidays and you're communing with your family and it's bringing good feelings and that kind of thing. Go ahead and indulge a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. I liked what they said about don't go to places hungry, because one of the things that I will do,
Yeah.
especially during a time where I know I'm eating more like that, I have a shake, a protein shake that I regularly do that I know that that has all the nutrition that I need, so my body's getting fed, right? So
I
if I'm eating, even if I'm going to be eating, I will do the shake before going to something like that to make sure really staying aware that my body is getting the nutrition that it needs during that time, right? And then you're not as hungry either, but at least you're not eating junk food and not feeding the nutrition into your body.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, everyone just kind of, especially if you're going to a holiday dinner or something like that, it's either don't go hungry where you're not indulging as much, right? Or if you know there's going to be a lot of foods there that you're going to want to eat, then maybe fast before you go and have that be your one meal for the day, where that's all you eat, and then you can indulge, and then you're not worried about like eating and overeating and all that kind of stuff. That becomes your one meal for the day as a reward for doing the fast. So
there you go.
So take it. Yeah, take it. Listen, we're going to take another quick break. We've got one more fantastic wellness story that has to do around mental health and the holidays. So we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Find all of the Satana products at our Go shop at go.soulivity.com.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us, a place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hey, we're back with more here on Soulivity today. It's another Wellness Wednesday show where we feature stories of health and wellness from around the world. And back with us again is my wonderful co-host, Sheila Applegate. Hey, Sheila.
Hey, Brian.
This last story is really important. I mean, we talked about mental health several times throughout the year. And the holidays can be, for many of us, can be really difficult. I know for me personally, even like a couple of years ago, after my father transitioned, the first holidays were really, really tough. And so, Sheila, we wanted to make sure that, we gave people some little bit of information, and we can talk about this after we watch this clip from Click on Detroit 4, which talks about tips around how we can put our mental health first during the holiday season.
One of Detroit's most popular athletes sharing a story that goes way beyond sports. We're talking about Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin, who recently went to social media to share some heartbreaking news that he and his wife had lost their first child.
And also asking for privacy during this difficult time. But it did lead us to realize at this time of the year, a lot of families are dealing with heartbreak that can be very difficult when it's supposed to be such a joyous season.
Priya Mann is live to talk about that this morning. Hey, Priya.
Hey, Jason and Rhonda, and that's exactly it, Rhonda. You know, a lot of people at this time of year expect to be celebrating with family, but, you know, a lot of us are dealing with difficult emotions, whether it's grief or you're worried about family drama. There's a lot of financial pressures at this time of year. Maybe you have depression. Maybe it's your first holiday sober. There is no shortage of triggers at this time of year.
The whole narrative of the holiday season is family, right? It's togetherness, it's connection. Grief can definitely be compounded, and this can be a very triggering time for people.
On Friday, Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin shared this post on social media announcing the couple had lost their baby.
I think we all should thank Dylan and Kinsey for coming forward and being public with this, because so often, especially with miscarriages, there's so much stigma and shame that surrounds it that no one talks about it.
Dr. Rose Moten is a clinical psychologist and says the holiday season can amplify feelings like grief, social anxiety, or depression.
I just encourage people to understand that it's normal. And don't beat up on yourself. When you do feel triggered, acknowledge it, and allow yourself to process.
Some people get depressed and want to isolate during the holidays. Others are weary of potential conflicts with family members. Her advice is to simply feel the feelings.
Give yourself permission not to attend everything. Give yourself an out, so if you go somewhere and you find it triggering or you find it too emotionally overwhelming to be in that space, allow yourself to leave. It's okay to advocate for yourself.
For some, this may be your first sober holiday. Dr. Moten says try opening up to someone you trust.
Don't feel the shame or stigma around it. You'll be surprised at how many people can relate to you, or maybe they're on the same journey.
With mounting pressures to attend all those holiday parties, to buy the perfect gift, or to seem perfectly content, Dr. Moten says you get to choose how the holiday season plays out.
This can be a very joyous time of the year for us. It can be a very difficult time of the year, but the choice is all ours.
So remember, it has a lot to do with mindset, right? Dr. Moten also says you can also look at December 25th as just another day that you need to get through, and that time will pass and that you will move past it. And she also says just stay in the present moment. Also, setting boundaries can help you protect your peace of mind as well. Reporting live this morning, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
So important. So important. And just want to do a shout out to my dear friend in Detroit, Dr. Rose Moten, for her words of wisdom when it comes to all of this. She is just so on point. This is your life, and you have the first right of refusal when it comes to
Right.
how you want to deal with whatever you're dealing with, and you do not allow yourself to feel obligated to be a certain way when that's not where you're at. With anything that's happening. I can only imagine that family who lost a child right before the holidays. That's just,
Right.
phew. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I thought she did an excellent job of, really making the points that we need to remember to stay healthy. The season is a season, and any point where we're thinking of family traditions, or there's expectations, movies, so much like kind of
Right.
this is the magic of the season, then
Right.
we're stressed with pressure and almost afraid to let people know how we feel in different ways. So when you let your emotions out, even the grief, give yourself time for grief, or time for stress, or whatever it is, then you're free to also have the joy. I mean, we talked about this a lot when we did the episode with Helena on the holiday and joy. And letting that in is what lets the joy in, letting yourself be whatever you are. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, this has to do with us taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves fully and completely and unbiasedly, right?
Right.
We don't have to say I'm sorry to anybody or apologize to anyone for taking care of ourselves. No.
Exactly.
So if you're doing that, stop. Just stop today. Stop today, right? And especially during the holidays, let this be the first step for you in setting the boundaries and then moving into, doing those things like Sheila, you just said, taking care of ourselves with joy, right? Bringing joy in, feeling the joy. And maybe it takes a minute for us to get to that place, but as we're moving through it, include love and joy, right? Loss of a loved one, that kind of thing. There's joyful moments that you had. You're feeling the way that you're feeling because of all the great moments that you had with this person, that you love this person, and there's probably some good things that are there too, that you can be joyful
That is the
about.
thing about, that's the thing in the season. We're remembering the good times. So let that into your moment.
Right.
The
Right.
grief thing is that we feel the love, we feel the joy, and then we think of the absence. But if we can, we
Absolutely.
can choose to stay in that love and joy. And if we can't, we just grieve and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great. I love today's topics today, Sheila.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, we
this
hit a
was
lot
this
of
was
things.
just this was just amazing, amazing, amazing. Listen, we're gonna squeeze in a really, really quick break, but we've got more Soulivity today coming up, and so we'll be right back in just a couple seconds. Okay.
6 years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
And we're back with more of Soulivity today, where we just had a great wellness show, and it's time for some shameless plugs. Shameless plugs. Sheila, again, today is Zach's birthday, and I think it's only apropos that we talk about something that you and Zach are doing together with your fractal illumination. Just such an important thing that you guys are doing together. And I'm just so happy that could you tell people a little bit about that as I'm getting up the
Yeah.
website here?
So, for anyone that doesn't know, Zach, whose birthday is today, is my partner in work and in play. It's Zachary Hansen. And when we came together 10 years ago, we both work in the realm of energy healing and spirituality. And in our union, we opened up to a new frequency of divine grace that allows people to sit in a space of love and acceptance and really find harmony and calm during this chaotic time. And so we do a mini retreat, which is a, a day here coming up on December 16th, where you can just come and receive the grace and experience the joy. And it actually has a long lasting impact on the transformation of your evolution. So check it out at SheilaApplegate.com.
Absolutely. And we talk a little bit about the fact that this is a little bit based in the international best-selling book, The Energy Healer's Oracle Tool for Total Transformation.
Right.
That
It's featured
features,
in the,
yeah.
We tell the
So
origin story of it.
exactly. So while you're there at Sheila's website, go check out that book as well. Just great stuff, Sheila. Man, this new year is going to be fantastic. Also, just want to remind everybody to go check out our latest and greatest stories on Soulivity.com. We just got a great announcement that the whole health healing system with world-renowned Dr. Mark Mancola is back. Woohoo!
Nice.
Enrollments, yeah, it's going to be in March. March 4th is the next curriculum start, but we opened it up now so that people could could enroll with an early bird discount. That special offer ends January 26th. So maybe treat yourself or someone else to checking out the whole health healing system. This is 40 years of different techniques and different things that Mark Mancola has learned in his career. A lot of Eastern philosophy in terms of Chinese and medicine and philosophies around that can change the way that you think about your body and healing and wellness and health. This is especially good for people who are medical practitioners to add to their bailiwick of different techniques. So that's also fantastic and awesome.
Yeah.
Please check us out on social media, where you can learn more about everything that we're doing, including how-tos and tips for living a healthier and better life, including all things wellness. Remember to follow us subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can know when every time we go live and watch all of the great Soulivity TV content. Sheila, things are coming to an end, so parting is such sweet sorrow.
Yes, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I know, right? So tomorrow we'll make it a date. No, but seriously, thank you for being here. Thank you for your light and love as we discuss these things around wellness. Important things for everyone to remember. I'm actually telling myself this as I speak, because we all have to wellness has to be part of our life, our regular life, in terms of maintaining our health and our welfare, and so that we can be all that we are meant to be. Remember, life is meant to be good. And so these are some of the tips to help keep us there, in that goodness. So again, thanks, Sheila, for being here.
Thank you, Brian. It was fun. Thank all the listeners too.
I
Gives
know,
us a
thank
reason
you.
to talk.
Absolutely. And so we want to thank all of you for being here. Listen, we're almost running out of time. I just want to say thank you again for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today, our Wellness Wednesday edition. Listen, this is how we do it Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast on all of our Soulivity channels. But you can also listen and watch us on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California at 8 a.m. Pacific time for all of you out on the West Coast. So listen, while you're driving and while you're at home or at work, remember, keep living your life with passion and purpose, and you can create a better life, a higher quality life today. We'll see you next time.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written